Good morning, Rabbi Burton.
Good morning, Angelique.
We have a new question for the Q&A, and the question is the following. Righteous Gentiles versus Pious Noahides, is there a difference? And does it matter that there is a difference?
Okay, righteous Gentile versus pious Noahide. Well, the truth is that there is a term in Hebrew that would describe both of these people, which is Hasidei Umot Ha'olam, which means righteous amongst the nations. There is a technical way to apply that term, and then there is a freer sort of literary way to apply that term. So in other words, we might call anybody who has saved Jews, like Oskar Schindler, or who has acted morally, a righteous Gentile, a Chassid Umot Ha'olam. But the Rambam has a more technical description of that term, and he applies it to specifically a person who keeps the seven Noahide laws because God commanded him to do so through the giving of the Torah by Moses.
Okay, thank you. But that make me wonder, why is there a difference? Why is it important that it has to be by Moses? Because the laws were also given to Adam.
I think let's simplify, and we'll say that the reason why it's so important to accept the seven Noahide laws because Hashem informed them through Moses is because prior to the giving of the Torah at Sinai, the Jewish people, even though they were distinct, were considered B'nai Noach. That is the last revelation that was given to Noahides, even though simultaneously they become a completely separate nation upon the giving of the Torah. After that point, prophecy only occurred amongst the people of Israel, and that, of course, eventually ended as well. So, what is being said over here is that you might have somebody who is a moral thinker, is a good person, and according to the way they look at the world, these and those things might be the right things to do. But the idea that accepting the seven Noahide laws through Moses, through the revelation at Sinai, through Moses, why that's important is because intellectual conviction doesn't compare to prophecy.
That's a good answer to the question why we should have it from Moses, because we cannot make it our own logic thought about it. But there is still the question, what is the difference between when it was given to Adam and was given to Moses? Why just not say we have to accept it because Hashem gave it to Adam?
Because the revelation at Sinai was the last revelation and is just as incumbent upon Jewish people to keep the Torah because of the revelation at Sinai, even though certain laws were given prior to that. In other words, before the revelation at Sinai, the seven Noahide laws were binding upon the people who would eventually become Jewish. But once the Torah was given at Sinai through Moses, it now becomes incumbent upon them to keep it because of that, not because of prior revelation. So that's also true for Noahides.
Okay, thank you for your answer.